Diversity in tech is top of mind as organizations aim to address the latest talent shortage in the cybersecurity space.
Join Security Product Marketing Manager Jessica Afeku for a conversation with CVP Ann Johnson and CVP Vasu Jakkal as they discuss how Microsoft is future-proofing against bias in the tech industry by way of technology and building diverse teams.
Investing in diverse cybersecurity teams isn't just the right thing to do. The future of cybersecurity depends on it. To share more about how Microsoft is helping future-proof against bias in tech through greater diversity, I'd like to welcome two members of the Microsoft Security Leadership Team. Ann Johnson, Corporate Vice President of Security Compliance and Identity Business Development, and Vasu Jakkal, our new Corporate Vice President of Security Compliance, Identity, and Marketing. Thank you both for being here. Ann, let's start with you. You often talk about the importance of diversity in the cyber industry and why it matters to the future of tech. Can you explain the connection between the two?
Yeah, thank you so much, Jessica. It's fabulous to be here. This is a topic that is so incredibly important to me. We know that greater diversity of data set allows us to do three important things. It provides better machine learning and artificial intelligence models and learning outcomes. It gives us an advantage over our adversaries, and our AI and machine learning will improve the overall threat intelligence and allow our customers to respond much more quickly and remediate threats in their environment. These type of learnings, they take Microsoft on a journey related to security, right? And they allow us to bring new solutions to market, like our Azure Sentinel solution, which is our cloud-native SIEM, or the recent acquisition of CyberX, which complements our entire IoT security strategy. But as important as the data and the solutions are that we bring to market, we also know that organizations have to focus on the people side of the business. And focusing on the people side of the business means they need to think about diversity also from a people standpoint. If better data sets and more diverse data sets lead to better outcomes, then it only stands to reason that more diverse teams also lead to better outcomes. So we need to apply the same concepts of diversity to our cyber teams. As a matter of fact, studies have shown to us that cyber teams who are diverse make better decisions 73% of the time. In addition, cyber teams that are diverse, and you think about different geographies of those cyber teams, you actually increase those better outcomes to 87%. It's incredibly important for all of us as we think about recruiting, retaining talent, and bringing folks into our organization that we think about diversity in a very wide spectrum, because it will lead to better outcomes. We don't want to get to the place where we have groupthink in the environment because everyone has the same educational background or the same socioeconomic background or the same geographic background. We have to think about all of that as we think across diversity.
And you make some excellent points. Let's talk with Vasu. While you're relatively a newcomer to Microsoft, you are a cyber industry veteran. Could you share your perspective on the importance of building diverse cyber teams?
You bet, Jessica. And first of all, thank you for having me here. I'm so honored. As you know, cybersecurity and diversity in cybersecurity is a topic which is close to my heart and deeply passionate about it. I believe that diversity is important not just from a cybersecurity perspective or tech perspective, it's important from a societal perspective for us, and we need to do our part towards it. Anne drove home some great points about innovation, and let me add to that. Last year, the World Economic Forum did a report compiling various studies, and this data showed that teams which are more diverse in nature, countries which are more diverse in nature, just do better. Countries which have large immigration populations tend to be great economic drivers. Management teams which are more diverse in nature, as well as C-suites which have more women, tend to do better from a bottom line as well as a top line. Isn't that super cool? And I think it's the same thing across the board, in particular in cybersecurity, where we deal with large amounts of diverse data, where we deal with large amounts of diverse technology, where our hackers and bad actors come from diverse backgrounds. We need to stay a step ahead. We need to design diversity into the very fabric of cybersecurity, and that takes great humans from all backgrounds. Diversity is a big word, and it's not just about gender or race or socioeconomic paths. It's about all this and much more. It's about cognitive diversity. It's about making sure that everyone has a seat at the table, that we strive for inclusion. And only when we do that can technology and the humans who are augmented by this great technology build a safer world. That's why I came to Microsoft. I came to Microsoft because of our commitment towards building a world where everyone can do more. And for that, we need great security. And for that, we need great diversity. At Microsoft, we're committed to do our part towards diversity, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Looking to the future, do you think we'll ever be at a place where AI and machine learning will be purely autonomous? And let's start with you.
You know, Jessica, I get the question a lot. I think that is people's dream end state, but here's the reality. The reality is research has shown us that AI plus human equals a better outcome. So whilst I think there's an opportunity for machine learning and artificial intelligence to take away the mundane day-to-day routine tasks and to automate those, you still need the human for the very complex tasks. You need the human combined with the intelligence to think through hard problems and to give real solutions to those problems. So no, I don't anticipate a point in time, at least in my career lifetime, where we're going to get to the place where AI is fully autonomous.
Thank you, Anne. Vasu?
It's a great question. I do believe that AI is essential in cybersecurity to help us scale. We deal with enormous amounts of data. I think right now we're looking at 8 trillion signals a day. And without that AI scale and cloud scale, it's really hard to fathom this data and to get perspectives around it. At the same time, the technology is only as good as the humans who build that. And so we're going to need to take responsible measures to build this AI. We're going to have that cognitive diversity again. We're going to have to understand our own unconscious biases. And if we do that, I'm confident that AI with great humans is going to help build a secure future.
Great. Thanks, Vasu. Today, you've both shared some great points about how diversity helps future-proof against bias in technology. One final question before we go. And Vasu, I'd like to start with you. Could you share 2 to 3 pieces of guidance around how we can create diverse teams and foster inclusion?
It's a great question, Jessica. We need to role model this. I have 3 things that I would love to share with you. The first thing is it starts with a hiring process. When we are looking for talent, we need to approach a diverse mindset. We need to dig deeper. We need to go to corners that we haven't gone before, and we need to spend the time needed to get diversity in our mix. Sometimes it's just harder for diverse candidates to be in the consideration set, and we need to do a better job together to make sure that these candidates are in the diverse set and that we're considering them. The second one is, diversity without inclusion is not going to be successful. I'd heard a great saying, and I cannot remember who said this to me, but if diversity is like asking someone to, or inviting someone to a party, inclusion is asking them to dance. And so we need to do our jobs towards inclusion, listening to our diverse candidates, creating a safe place where they can bring their whole selves and really be their best selves so that they can thrive. So that's the second aspect. And then the third one is a culture of allyship and sponsorship. We need to be great allies. We need to be great sponsors and lend a helping hand. We need to create a culture of belonging. And in particular, I'm so excited about Microsoft's allyship program, where we pay super attention to this particular aspect of belonging. So that's my 3. Start with the hiring process, open our mindsets and look at diverse candidates, create a culture of inclusion, so we're listening to everyone and creating a place where everyone can thrive, and creating a culture of belonging and allyship and sponsorship.
And
yeah, I think it's incredibly important to understand that your fostering of a diverse team doesn't just stop with recruiting and hiring. You hire somebody, you get them in the door, and we like to say people go where they're invited. They stay where they are welcome. If you don't create an inclusive culture that gives everyone a voice and they cannot bring their authentic self to work, those are the types of things that people are looking for. They want to have a voice. They want to bring their whole self into the environment. You need to think about how you create the culture once you have people in the door so they actually stay and they learn and they grow with the team. And part of the ways you can do that is by looking for that, right? If you're on, I'll give you one example. If you're on a Teams call and you notice that someone really hasn't been participating, ask them if they have a comment. Maybe you want to ask them, in a private chat, or maybe you want to ask them on the phone, but try to draw them into the conversation. If you notice that someone is continually getting talked over, call it out, right? Be an ally for them. Reinforce points that those quieter members of your team, if someone actually speaks up in that Teams environment and you know they don't usually speak up, reinforce their point for them. The whole objective is that we want everyone to feel valued, regardless of what their background is, what their education is, what their career level is, whether they're male or female, what their gender identity is. You want everyone to feel incredibly welcome. And we are in a world right now where we're facing tremendous pressure over things like racial injustice, right? There's no better way to foster an inclusive team than making certain that the people on your team feel like that they have a fair and equitable playing field.
I couldn't agree with you more, Anne. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Vasu, for sharing these important ways that we can help future-proof against bias in tech. To learn more about this important topic and how Microsoft Security is leveraging AI and machine learning to help protect our customers, visit Microsoft.com/security. Also, follow us at Microsoft Security on Twitter for the latest news and updates on cybersecurity.
Right now,